Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's that time. It is 9 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday night. And that means it's time for the show. There is so much currently going on, man. I feel like we're like just doing what we can to try to keep our collective heads above water. I feel like I have been busier than crap. I know Kate has really been doing a lot of stuff lately. I appreciate her. I know Sarah's been helping out. There's been other people helping out behind the scenes. The Paper Winch has been helping out, doing some things, and there has just been a whole lot going on. And there's been a whole lot going on kind of everywhere, and I've got people kind of pulling me in different directions. I want you to talk about this. I want you to talk about this. This is going on, and this is going on. And at the same time, look, our nightly numbers are down a little bit. We're just after the election. People are kind of burnt out. Everybody's like, eh. Some of the lame duck people, they're like, why do I have to pay attention? I don't need to pay attention for a minute. I'm out of here. So this is kind of like a changing of the guards. It happens every year. Every year that there's an election. It specifically happens every 4 years, depending on if you're talking about the 4-year period for city council or the 4-year period for county government, which is divided into two because there's a period of an election that happens during the midterm and then a period of happens during the presidential. So the county's kind of divided into like 2-year and 2-year segments, but for the city elections, it's kind of like a 4-year cycle. And so it's kind of like out with the old, in with the new. Although I'm hoping there are some people that have been involved this go around that aren't going to be active per se, but I hope they stay involved. Like Troy Ingram, I don't know if he's watching or not. I hope he stays involved still. He has a lot to offer. There's a lot of people. But then in the grand scheme of things, hell, it's just another day. You see it here, episode 88. Just another day. It looks kind of all psychedelic, real kind of groovy there. I don't know why I did it like that. I was just bored, and so that's what it is. That being said, we have a lot going on. I had people contacting me today. There was a pursuit in Henry County this afternoon. I was in the process of listening to some of that. I have not been able to listen to all of it yet, but apparently there was a pursuit, and the allegation is that the Henry County Sheriff was involved in the pursuit, John Sproles, and in that allegation, they said that he was involved and that there were several deputies that were also involved with it, that, you know, he knew they were involved, and that basically Sproles and like 3 or 4 or 5 different deputies got in this pursuit and headed over to Wayne County, a county to the east of Henry County, and that the bad guys bailed. They jumped out, they crashed and jumped out, and then they were out on foot, and that there was state police, there was the city of Richmond, there was Wayne County Sheriff's deputies, and then small town deputies, small town police officers. And that Sproles, instead of saying, okay, you guys got this, it wasn't Henry County's pursuit. Hamilton County and the state police were in pursuit of a vehicle. I believe I'm hearing that they were calling it a stolen vehicle. I don't know that for sure. And that Hamilton County and state police were in pursuit, and that Hamilton County lost sight of the vehicle. And for those of you that are not in law enforcement, pursuit rules generally state if you lose sight of the vehicle, the pursuit is done. Now, if you pick the vehicle back up and they do something at that point, okay, if it's a felony that they're wanted on, or they've committed felonies, then you can try to engage them again. But if you lose sight of the vehicle, the pursuit is off. Well, Hamilton County apparently lost sight of the vehicle. And state police were still kind of on the trail. And something happened, and Henry County picked them up. Henry County picked the pursuit up. And, okay, cool. So, yeah, it was Hancock County. It was their pursuit. Is that what did I not say that? Or who did I say? Hamilton. Sorry, I said Hamilton. Yeah, Hancock. It was Hancock County's pursuit. Their normal pursuit. And that then Henry County picked the pursuit up. And they then took the pursuit into Wayne County. Now, generally, you would then say, okay, well, the suspects crashed. Okay, awesome, cool. That's no big deal. They crashed. And they, depending on how many law enforcement agencies you have involved, like if you got 4 deputies from Henry County, you need to cut some of those guys back, if not all of them. I mean, I would say the sheriff needs to head back. The sheriff doesn't need to be out in the field trampling through mud and muck and mire. He needs to be back doing administrative work, not playing U.S. Marshal in Wayne County. He's out like calling the shots. We need a perimeter set up. We need drones and helicopters. It's really weird. Ringmaster steps out and says the elephants left town. People jump and jive, said the clowns have stuck around. TV news with cameras. There's choppers in the sky. Marines, police, reporters ask where, for, and why. I don't know. How bizarre. I don't know why Sproles would be doing this. Listen, I'm getting people that's asking me like daily, why are you not covering Sproles? Why are you not covering Sproles? People, listen to me. I would love to come on here each and every night. I love you guys. The Henry County people that watch on this channel, the Walls, I don't know. I don't know Jeff and Amanda. I have just recently got to know these people. I would consider them friends now. I've become friends with them through this. There's other people, some people that don't want people knowing or whatnot. So I don't mention people, but you know who you are. The Henry County people on here. I love that you guys watch, and I want to give you content. I feel like, and I'm not bitching, and I know you guys are, I know none of you guys are bitching. I'm just saying, I feel like I gave you guys good coverage through the election and whatnot. But I would love, I don't like Sproles personally. And I would love to come on here and make a fool of Sproles each and every night. But I got to have something to make a fool of him with. And in all seriousness, for the last little bit, Sproles has been keeping his nose clean. Truthfully, that's good news. That is really good news. Okay? I am glad that he has been keeping his nose clean. As taxpayers of Henry County, you guys should all be glad that he's keeping his nose clean. Oh, no way, Kate. I didn't see that. Oh, my. That kind of makes me tingly inside. That's crazy. So it's good that Sproles, listen, has Sproles all of a sudden figured it out? Alva. Oh, listen, I'm happy with the product. Listen, I'm going to, just for Alva, I'm going to deep dive into some, pronounce that, Laforge? Laforge? How do you pronounce that, Kate? How are we pronouncing this?
I think Laforge.
Laforge?
Mm-hmm.
Parish, Louisiana. Alva, tell us how we did there, buddy. I'm going to deep dive and learn some stuff and maybe give everybody a LP Louisiana update weekly. La Fourche. I always love it when they talk about the cemetery where Jim Morrison is buried in France. It's called Père Lachaise. Père Lachaise. And I always like to hear how people pronounce that. It doesn't look like Père Lachaise. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah, Père Lachaise. I guess it kind of does. It looks close enough. Here we go. Thumbs down, Alva said. Yeah, can you do a phonic? Here. Père Lachaise Cemetery. Can you do a phonic spelling for us, Alva? LaFork. Is it LaFork? Something tells me it's not that. That's what it'll be. Is it La Fouch? La Forge? La Fooch?
I think it looks like LaFuck.
It does. What's going on there? It does. Joey Simpson thought the same thing. All right. So, anywho, in all seriousness, it's good that Sproles has been being quiet. Do I think that Sproles all of a sudden learned to be a police officer? Learn to be a public servant? No, no chance. No chance. He's still an idiot. He has lawsuits against him. I very much believe that the federal government is still looking into him for the beanbag incident. What you guys have to understand is the federal government moves like molasses. Listen to me. You look at the federal government doing an investigation, and it looks like they're not even moving. They are. It just takes a long time. And somebody asked me early on, do you think that Sproles will be in trouble with the FBI? And I said, yes, I do. They said, do you think they will remove him from office? I said, oh, no, they won't. That's not what happens. They said, do you think that he will serve out his full 4-year term? And I said, I don't know. He could do any number of stupid things between now and then, which could get him removed. But I'll tell you this, no matter what, say he does nothing else, we will not know about the FBI investigation until after this term is up. I'm just going to let you know, so you guys don't get your hopes up. They're not going to like come and drop the hammer on him next week. That's the next thing. That's the next thing there that everyone's asking. What about the deceased inmate? What about the deceased inmate? So, I'm going to let you guys know. Literally from the moment this young woman unfortunately died, and I don't, it's a horrible situation. Don't know why she was in jail. I've not even asked why she was in jail because I don't care why she was in jail because she died. Nothing else matters. She died. That's a horrible thing. She has family members. And I hate the fact that she died. Let me think about this. She died the day after Thanksgiving. People's Thanksgiving's never going to be the same again. It's just a horrible situation. I hate this for this woman's family. Whatever the deal is, people started getting a hold of me. My contacts within the sheriff's department. Sproles doesn't like to think this, but all right, folks, just to let you know, today's show is going to be about Muncie, and it's going to be about Henry County. So for those of you from Muncie, I'm going to be talking about Muncie. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I'm just kind of giving a Henry County update because I've got a lot of people who have been asking me. The Henry County people out there, I got to say, I wish that, I said this the other day about Gaston. I wish that people everywhere would act like the people of Gaston and would act like Henry County. The people in Newcastle have really come together and have really started taking agency in their community. And I love it. So I have sources in the Henry County Sheriff's Department. I know it drives Sproles crazy. Sproles, I'm sorry. You have moles, Sproles. I don't know what to tell you. And people started letting me know bright and early Friday morning that there was an issue with this woman. She was deceased in the jail. And the press release came out and it said that they rounded at 5 o'clock and that they called, she was non-responsive. She was not moving. And they called EMS and EMS got there at 5:20. Let me tell you, 20 minutes response time in Henry County for an unresponsive person, that is nuts. That's way too long. I don't know why that took that long. That was the first thing that I questioned was why did it take them 20 minutes to get there? It should not have taken them 20 minutes. Now, her autopsy was today. They did not do the autopsy until today, after the holiday and everything. There's a couple days off, so I'm sure there was things going on. And from what I'm hearing from sources, we still know nothing. Well, let me tell you what that means. If this person would have died from murder or from suicide, we would have known. If she was shot, stabbed, hung, strangled, we would know that. If she had a heart attack, a blood clot, an aneurysm, some kind of underlying health condition that ended her life, we would have known today. Most of the 90% of the chance. There's a couple things that could have been happening. Now we wait on the toxicology. Now, I don't hold out much hope that toxicology is going to show anything. So what does that mean? If tox report comes back and she's clean, that's going to be really strange. Well, then what? Well, the reason I say that is because if the woman had just been brought into jail, say she got arrested at 3 o'clock in the morning for driving under the influence, and the police came up and she ate a bunch of pills. They took her to jail and then she overdosed. That would make sense, but we would know that. She might even have evidence of the drugs still in the jail. She might have thrown up. We would know that. That's not what happened. This woman had been in the Madison County jail. She had a warrant hold for Henry County. And at some point, Henry County came and got her, or Madison County took over, and she was transferred from one jail to the next. Now, it's possible to get something in jail. It's possible for her to get something. So, maybe that's what the situation is. No big deal. No big deal. So she had been, I don't know how long she had been in Henry County, but I know that she had been in Madison County jail for a while, for a couple days at least. She was on a hold for a warrant for Henry County, and she got there. I have heard from sources through the grapevine 4 days earlier in Henry County. So she'd been in Henry County for 4 days. "20 minutes is like the response time from the time they called EMS until they got there. So that's not from the time someone saw her and noticed. That's from the time the jail staff realized she was unresponsive and they called 911 to get EMS sent. That's what that was. So someone said may possibly have had a seizure. May possibly have been a seizure. So we'll know more about that after the tox report. A tox report could be back tomorrow. probably is not going to be. It will more likely be 3 to 4 to 6 weeks. So we're not going to know anything about that for a long time. Now, the biggest thing is people are saying, wait a minute. Wasn't she in a special sale, a special jail cell? Not a sale. They weren't selling her. Jail cell. That's always hard for me to say. Jail cell. She wasn't just in general population. Some people are saying she was on suicide watch. I don't believe that's the case. Some people are saying she was in solitary. Some people are saying she was in medical. Either way, whether she was in segregated, seg, or if she was in medical, there is a protocol for how often that person must be checked upon. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to reach out to a source of mine at the Delaware County Jail tomorrow, and I'm going to ask them what is the standard operating procedure for the Delaware County Jail for someone who is in like segregated holding or someone who is in medical, or just for shits and giggles, I'll even throw in suicide watch in there too, which I think suicide watch would be in the medical area. It would just be in a special area of medical. So I'm going to ask someone from Delaware County how long that process is, what the standard operating procedure is. Then I'm going to reach out to a source of mine from the Henry County Jail, and I'm going to ask the same thing. So we'll compare those two things. Then I'm going to I'll get all these records and I'll find this out so we'll know. Because that's really the biggest thing here. So Jeff Walls says 15 minutes with seeing movement.
I have a question.
Yes.
We saw from the beanbag incident that they have cameras in the cells. So wouldn't they?
Not all of them.
But if she was in a medical, you would think that would definitely have some kind of camera in it, right?
Maybe there would. Yeah, maybe there would. And that's the other thing I need to find out from Henry County.
That's what I was going to ask if you were going to get footage.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the other thing is I'm going to try to find out what the deal is with with that. Is there footage in the cell she was at? What's the deal with it? Yada yada yada. So yeah, that's a really good point, Kate. I will find that out. Jeff is saying that Henry County is 15 minutes with seeing movement. So every 15 minutes they are. Now, here's the situation. Everybody's kind of joking about how busy Henry County is. They've started this policy under this sheriff, and we actually have him on recording saying this, of arresting people for minor misdemeanor charges, such as driving while suspended prior. I'm going to tell you, in the entire time that I was in law enforcement, I only ever arrested one person for driving while suspended prior and took that person to jail because he was absolutely being a dick. He was pushing the envelope and he was doing everything wrong that he could do. It was beyond insane. It is a misdemeanor arrestable offense, and I took him to jail. And I'm glad that I took him to jail. It was great that he went to jail. He deserved every bit of it. I will say that I now know that guy outside of this, and we've laughed about it. And he's cool, and we're both cool. But everybody else that I ever pulled over for driving while suspended prior, which is a misdemeanor, I just gave them a ticket and just let them go. It's just an arrest and release. They go to court and they pay a fine. But this idiot, like the jail, if we took someone to jail for driving while suspended prior, the jail would laugh at you. Or not, the jail would like laugh at you. They would be mad in some cases. That's a newbie type of mentality. When I heard him say that he wanted driving while suspended priors to be taken to jail, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is insane. And he was like pushing this hardcore, it was insane. So if they are arresting all these people out there, I mean, they're saying that this new jail's already like overcrowded. He's saying that it's overcrowded. They need to open a new pod because they're overcrowded. Quit arresting people for stupid. Quit arresting people for DWS. Good God. So were they overcrowded because of all these criminals in Henry County? That's just because Sproles wants the entirety of the Henry County budget not given to him. Yeah. So I don't know. We will see what goes on there. I am looking into this deal with Sproles and this inmate. I am looking into all of that, and I will continue looking into that. And
question for you.
Interesting. Yes.
Did you ever find out anything about the Anderson Police Department body cam with Sproles and
I've not had any luck getting it. I've said
Anderson's being Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson is always really tough to deal with on body camera footage. They're always very hard to deal with. But I need to question them with the election. I kind of all that happened. And then, with what happened in the election, it kind of hurt my contact, on that. So, I will find out what's going on there.
It boils down to you haven't followed up because you've been too busy.
Well, no, since the election went away, that wasn't good for my contact. And so I've not been in contact with him since then. So I will get back in contact with him and find out if he still has access to kind of push and whatever. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's releasable. I don't know why it wouldn't be. And it's not like a major arrest. And I know that they don't like him. I know that a lot of those people are making fun of him.
I think if you push, it should be pretty easy.
So I'm hoping that they will. I could see maybe the upper command saying, well, we don't want problems with Henry County. So it could very well turn into a situation where I have to fight it through Luke Britt, which would take a long drawn thing, which I don't have a problem doing. But yeah, we don't have anything on that yet. I still write it down on my to-do list every time I figure it out, but I just haven't done it. Yeah. Oh no.
I know everybody's just chomping at the bit to see it.
Yeah. I would love to find that out with Sproles. I would love to do that. I literally got a phone call just a little bit ago. Someone saying like, you need to stay on Sproles. And I'm like, dude, everybody calm down. I will show you all of Sproles being an idiot as soon as I possibly can. But it is good if he's out there being quiet. It means he's not violating your rights. He's not violating my rights. So quiet sometimes is good. Thank God he's been quiet, because what's been going on in Muncie, on the other hand, has been absolutely insane. And people's like, wait, what are you talking about? Nothing's been going on in Muncie. It's been quiet. Like, listen, I'll tell you this. I still don't know if the mayor's back to work yet or not. Now, he might very well be back to work. I have no proof that he is either at work or he is not at work. I'm just saying, generally, by this point in the month, we would have seen something of him on social media. They've been really quiet since the election. The city of Muncie's been very quiet since the election. And it's just really strange that I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because they too are burnt out on everything with the election being behind us and all of that. Very well possible. Does anybody else think that it doesn't seem like the holidays? It doesn't seem like Thanksgiving. It doesn't seem like Christmas. I mean, I know it was 26 degrees today. Good Lord. Like, hello, it's not that far into the season yet. It should not be 26 degrees. One of these days, real soon, I'm telling you, the political spotlight is going to be coming to you live from Las Vegas, live from Georgia, live from South Carolina, the political spotlight. I cannot deal with these cold temperatures. I'm telling you, man.
You just need to go down and visit Alva in Lafourche Parish and live it up down there where it's
I can winter down there.
Yeah. You have to ask Alva, I'm assuming.
Hey, Alva, can I be your roommate?
But
can we do the can we do?
He said he wants you to deep dive into Lafourche, so
yeah. Can we live on location from Alva's house and see what's going on? Yeah, right there. We heard it right there. Y'all bring your happy ass down here. Hey, have you not heard, Alva? You should never invite a vampire into your house. You've done it now. So, Muncie. It does. It does sound like that. Yeah. Muncie. I think here's what's going to happen. Kate, come up here and come for a second. I know what's going to happen. They're going to tell us that we're making a big deal out of nothing. They're going to tell us that what we're griping about is not a big deal because it's all part of the claims, and the Board of Works approves the claims, and it's there, and they see it on the actual master copy, and so they're voting for it, and it's no big deal. I know that's what they're going to say. But I don't understand why they don't realize what is happening. I think at the very least, each and every week they're committing an open door violation. Every Wednesday they're committing an open door violation.
Every Wednesday they're falsifying an official document.
And then and so what's happening is it's getting typed up wrong, and then it's getting approved wrong. So they type it up today, and it's getting approved next week. So today's meeting, they approved last week's. They're approving that. That's wrong.
So we get down. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Tomorrow, next, yeah, right. Next week, they're approving today's, and it just keeps going. And so everyone is in the wrong here. And I don't understand why I would not mess around with this, because it was the Board of Works meetings which caused all of the big FBI investigation on Dennis Tyler.
Well, and the only reason we found out about this was because you were asking about a payment to something. And the communications director says, well, this was discussed at the Board of Works. You can go back and watch the meeting, see what they talked about. Maybe that will help answer the question that you have.
Look in the minutes. Yeah.
You know, but the minutes in the meeting should match.
How hard is this for, just listen, people over here on the side.
That's what
you
minutes
understand
are intended to do.
Yeah, right. Like they should. I see it. That's hilarious.
It's been up a while. You just
that's funny. Alma just said something about it. Yeah, they did indirectly screw themselves.
Yeah.
I'm going through no community update withdrawal. I am not. I am not.
His whiny voice.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. So.
Yes, I have been a little bit under the weather here recently. I'm dealing with drips and fevers and fun.
Oh God! Is the whole horde sick? Everybody?
No, just me.
Okay.
I think Niles is a bit drippy too, but
yeah, he's always kind of like that.
Yeah.
He's always snorting and snotting. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like that too, so I got no room to talk. But yeah.
No, they are going to say it's not a problem. It's a problem.
It is a problem.
And your minutes don't match. That's an issue. It's okay if you don't mention you don't have to get up and say, Kristopher Bilbrey walked up to the thing and he burped.
Yeah.
You don't need to include that in minutes.
Right.
But you can't go up and Kristopher walks up to the microphone. He burps. He says, thank you very much. Turns around and walks away. You can't get up there and say in the minutes that Kristopher Bilbrey walked up to the microphone, burped, said, thank you very much, flipped everyone off, and then walked away.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. You can't include that. You're lying on an official record.
Well, yeah. Yes. Charlize, I figured you were. No, that's exactly right. So, Charlize, have you, I don't know, I've not seen you on here in a minute. Have you heard about this? Do you know what we're talking about? Have you watched this and what's happening? A bookkeeping error would be one. The city's website is lacking some updated agendas.
A bookkeeping error would be we typed in the wrong number or we added
or maybe this happens one time. They write down what they want to talk about. It gets added. They didn't actually talk about it. Okay. But
when it's SOP.
What's the amount of money that we've got to that you found out so far?
You're going to have to give me a second because I closed
Yeah,
the
that's
doc.
fine.
Undiscussed claims.
I know, brother. I know you are. but listen, you're joking, but that doesn't mean they would, because they would say something like that. They would say it's just a bookkeeping error. It's not. This is nothing. They would say that.
Okay, you ready?
Yep. No, hold on. I want everybody out there to guess. Okay, what is it that you're going to be telling them? The number is.
Okay.
What are you going to be telling them?
I went through from January 1st of 2023 until November 15th of 2023.
Okay.
And I compared the minutes of the meetings with the meetings. And if it was listed in the minutes and not actually discussed or mentioned during the meeting, then I added it to my spreadsheet. So I have all of the undiscussed claims in one spreadsheet for all of 2023.
Okay. And now you're not talking about the water bill to the city hall.
No, because if they mention utility, because almost every meeting he says utilities. We had utilities, we had health. So I went through and if he said utilities, I did not include any of that. It is strictly stuff that was not mentioned at all in the meeting.
Yeah.
But that they listed in the minutes.
Yeah.
We've got 2.2 million is one guess.
So Alva said 2.2 million. Big Man Tryon said, is that 800,000?
Yes, 800,000.
800,000. All right. Anybody else want to take a guess real quick? Anybody else want to take a guess on how much? And what this is how much money has been passed through the city of Muncie that has been added to the minutes.
1.5 mil.
But has not been discussed. So we've got a 1.5 million, and this is just from this happens once a week. It happens once a week on Wednesdays at the Board of Works meetings. So it's happened from the beginning of January of this year through the 15th of November. So that's only 11 months. Okay.
Right.
All right. We got a 3.5 million, 2.2 million, 1.5 million, 800,000. All right. Let her rip. How much? What's the total?
There it is. $5,148,724.57. Stumblefoot was close.
$1. Yoko Duo wins. Price is Right's rules.
No, nobody else went
never
over.
mind. You lose. Yeah, I guess that's right. Stumblefoot wins.
Stumblefoot wins.
All right. Well, I tried. Anywho.
What the hell? Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
Elva hit what I was thinking.
Yeah. Pour it on, everybody. Talk about this. $5 million. $5.1 million.
It's impressive.
Just this year. Yes. Now, listen. I'm not going to go as far as to say that this money was illegally spent or that anything was wrong with this. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying what we're saying is this is money that was spent on big issues, big things that should more than likely have been discussed. And some of it's not big.
They're unusual claims, is what
unusual claims
put up there. Or it's big claims.
Mhm.
So, health insurance, he usually mentions that because health insurance is a huge expense.
Yeah.
But there in January on the 25th, he didn't mention the health insurance.
Yeah.
It's listed on that thing, and that's $300,000.
Yeah. So $300,000.
Most of it is stuff that makes sense. It's nothing like overtly,
Yeah.
ooh, they're being bad and laundering money. No, I mean, most of it, it's just normal shit.
We know where it is, but it's the point of the matter that they're cutting corners in how they're doing it. And the checks and balances aren't there to do the checks and balance work. And they are appointed by the administration. I am going to January City Council and asking them to go back to appropriating every single expense instead of giving him edit funds in one lump sum. I want to have it go through the council for it. Yeah, listen, and that's a good. I get it. That's what they should. All of the third-class cities. You tell me why this is. All of the third-class cities, Winchester, Newcastle, Elwood, Portland, they have 2 council meetings a month. The first and the third, the second and the fourth, the first and the last, whatever. Why?
What do you mean, big man trying?
You're right, Elizabeth. What's the itemized list of that? So I think he's saying the spreadsheet number of that.
Yeah, the spreadsheet has each claim listed. So
she has that. We're not going to show that just yet because I think we're wanting to collect a couple of other things.
Right.
But we will be showing
right now, what I have on there is I have the date of the meeting, the date that the claim was paid, to whom the claim was paid, what the amount was, what department it was paid from, and what they list on the claims as it having been paid for, like software maintenance, capital equipment, those kinds of things. So it is as much information as I could get on from the claims and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's done by week, not by month.
Yeah.
Annoying.
So
yeah, and
it's very specific.
Yeah. And the thing is, let me look here. There are
15 minutes a meeting, Elizabeth, to get it done.
Yeah. Every meeting they meet 4 times a month, and some meetings are like 6 minutes long, and some meetings are like 40 minutes long. Now, my problem.
I don't think he ever talks longer than 60 seconds. I think the longest one I had to watch was like 2.5 minutes, and I was like, please shut up, everyone, so I can get typing.
Yeah, to the next thing. Yeah, that's the other issue is because he's in and out, and that's my biggest issue with this. And that's
no follow-up on anything.
Yeah, there is no follow-up on this.
There was one time that he followed up on something, and that was after she'd asked it for a second time in a second meeting.
Well, yeah, and what kills me about this is Linda is the one that when she was on the council, like, people would say, they would come in and ask for an appropriation, or they would ask for this or that, and she would say, well, okay, but what about this? And they would say, I don't know. And she would be like, well, okay, well, then we'll just hold off on it until you do know. We can table it. And they would be like, well, we can run upstairs and get it. And I don't know how many times I've watched them recess a meeting for 5 minutes so someone from the administration, Tyler's administration or something, could run upstairs and get something out of the HR department, or Sarah Beach could run up there and get a job description to bring it down and then say, okay, here's the information. And then be like, okay, well, thank you for getting this information. We can now vote on this. The point of the matter here is when she says, hey, by the way, Squidward, Matt Wegley, what is this $25,000 going to IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital for the crisis center? I didn't think the crisis center was open yet. What are we paying $25,000 for them for? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. She needs to say, okay, I'm not approving this. How long is it going to take for you to get back to me? Do you need to run upstairs? Can you get on your phone and call someone? Can they go to get it off your desk? We'll hold. Because what they're doing is they're saying, I have a question about this claim. I don't know what this claim is for. Okay, to hell with it. Let's vote on it. You tell me after we vote. What happens if they vote that through and then later decide, I have a problem with this?
Well, you've already paid it, so you can fuck off.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. That's exactly the thing. Let me tell you what happened in the Tyler administration. They actually came before the Board of Works and asked for something to be paid through edit. And that was when
oh, good Lord.
Roger Overby was the president of the Board of Works at that time. And they approved three votes, 3-0. They approved to pay something through edit. And he then later found out that the edit account had zero money in it. So he then came back and said, hey, wait a minute. Sorry, we cannot do this. And they rescinded it, changed it. They had to get funding from someplace else or whatever to pay for what they approved. And then they said, okay, we can't do this. We're not doing this. And so they changed their mind. We're never seeing that. We don't ever see that with these people. Ever.
No, she always just says, oh, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, right. That's what she says. Yeah, absolutely. And you're exactly right. They were appointed by the mayor, not elected. And listen, I think this is a big issue with the state government. There needs to be, I'll say this, and I mean this for everywhere. This needs to be a total reworking of how our local government is ran. I don't think 3 people should ever be a deciding factor on anything. I think that the county commissioners should be a 5-person board. We should have 5 county commissioners. That way we have at least a 3-2 vote to make it a unanimous vote. The Board of Works should be a 5-person board. Everything should be at least a 5-person board. Or 7, or 9, or 11, or whatever you're doing there. And so the problem with the Board of Works is it's supposed to be a checks and balances on the day-to-day expenses and the contracts of the administration. So when you have a Republican mayor, the Democrat council should appoint 3 Board of Works members, and the Republican mayor, should appoint 2. So the other party should appoint the majority of the checks and balances team. The mayor shouldn't get to appoint at all. It should be
I just think that the Board of Works in general should be an advisory board and not have the authority to vote for shit. That's just me.
How do you pay for the monthly claims?
Well, look at Winchester. They vote on the claims once a month. The Board of Works comes through, looks at it weekly, says, yep, everything looks good.
What about places that are a larger, that might work for a smaller entity where you have a smaller budget? What happens when you're talking about larger? I mean, Muncie's just got a massive budget with that. I mean, so it would be a massive undertaking, like a massive undertaking. I can see the need
the Board of
to do
Works
it.
still meets once a week. They go through the claims, they look at them, they go, no, everything looks fine. End of the month, they send the thing. Last month, everything looked good. Send it to the council. The council goes through it a second time and says, fine, pay it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so damn difficult.
Yeah, I would be fine with that. Yeah, Charlize, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, we all need to get into the business of selling condemned buildings. Listen, Joey, we actually had a building commissioner at one point that was taking claims before the claims were going before the Board of Works, and he was getting paid for tearing down buildings that did not exist. So he would go to pull up here's the property at 725 North Elm Street. It's flat, all grass. And he would turn in a claim, 725 North Elm, I demolished a building there. Tore it all down. And it was just there. And he goes and he would turn in a $3,000 claim. And they were doing that all the time and just voting it through. That's why when there was a time when I first moved back to Muncie and people were giving me a hard time, they were like, what's he coming to Muncie for? He lives in Winchester. I was born and raised and lived all my days in Muncie and moved to Winchester. The Winchester people they wouldn't take me because I wasn't born in Winchester. I lived in Muncie. You're not from here. Then when I come back to Muncie, they're like, you're not from here. You're from I'm like, good Lord.
Thanks, Alva.
That's the other thing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I got Yoko's point about, wait a minute, the edit, it runs out of money. I thought that it was never ending. It was in the endless breadstick bowl at Olive Garden. The edit money is just always my grandma used to have this thing. I think I've told this story on here before. Go ahead.
You got to remember, though, Dan's got a couple of things going on right now.
Yeah.
He's got his edit money.
Yeah.
That he can use. And they've also got all that coronavirus money. So he talks about being fiscally responsible, which was Sarah mentioned this last night. He talks about being fiscally responsible, but he has a $39 million fucking slush fund to play with on top of the $4 million that he gets annually. Yeah. He's spending money like it's going out of style, and most people change their underwear. It's ridiculous.
That ARP money.
So he's got two slush funds to play with.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the thing, is because at first the ARP money only was shoehorned into a couple things, but hell, by 7 months later, they had opened that up, and the ARP money could go literally for anything.
If you can show, it's like the edit money. Yeah. If you can show XYZ, then you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. And I'll tell you what, politicians are the master of bullshit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it needs to be show that it's going to help the community with economic development. Well, yeah. Pissing on the streets, it's, cleaning the sidewalks. So, Right. We'll fund that next.
My grandma used to have this thing. It was a box. It was a square. It was about this big by about that big, and it was it had like a
Oh yeah, and
crocheted
back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got so many funds that he can fuck off with that.
Remind me about the MRC in a minute. I got a story to tell you about that.
Oh, goody.
This thing, you would squeeze the corners and its mouth would open. And when its mouth would open, there would be a kiss inside, a Hershey kiss. And my grandma would say, hold out your hand. And she would squeeze its corners and its mouth would open. And this little thing would give me a kiss. And I would eat it, you know. And my grandma would be like, okay, hold out your hand. And she'd squeeze it. And good Lord, it's got another kiss inside its mouth. Every time this thing opens its mouth, there's a kiss. Little Kristopher Bilbrey had a great idea. Sneak into the kitchen and steal that chocolate-making son of a bitch and put it in my pocket and sneak home and then lay in bed late at night and just pop that thing open, pop, and a chocolate would fall out, close it, pop, another one would fall out. I was going to be swimming in these chocolate things. Imagine my horror. I'm telling my brother about this. My brother that's like 3 years younger than me, he's like, no way, this is going to be great. I get home, my brother's like, it's a divorced parent, so my brother's at my mom's, and I'm at my dad's. I come home, I show this thing to my brother, but we're not daring to squeeze it. We get in bed that night, he's laying in bed next to me, and I go, squeeze. Wait a minute. Hold on, maybe I got to shake this thing. Shake. Squeeze. Needless to say, I was very disappointed that son of a bitch thing didn't have chocolate in it. So I snuck it back to Grandma's house. And that's when I stopped believing in magic. Yeah, she knows I did. I broke it. I quickly learned, something must be going on there. So, yeah, that's like the edit. That's like Dan goes to the edit fund and he's like, I know if I just reach my money inside Preston Cross's pocket, I can pull out more money. Yeah, she knows all about that. I've told her all about it. It's great. So the MRC money. While we've been looking through all of this stuff, the other day.
Want me to go?
Yeah, you can go if you want. If you're not. Yeah. I love it. Okay, here, let me show you this. All right. We cut off his edit fund. Is it? Yeah, right. Well, so this MRC money, look at this. I was looking around and look what we've got here. I know they talked about this. I knew this was coming. But I guess I didn't know when. Delaware County Advancement Corp. $758,362. They paid for, what is this? Does anybody know what this is? Let's go look. It's the Delaware County Sportsplex. Yay. It's the Sportsplex that they just bought, that Dan bought, what are we doing? We bought so that, why are we being the middleman? The YMCA, hell, Dak wasn't going to buy the YMCA. Yeah, right, Elizabeth. Absolutely. Yay! So now there's going to be houses out here. We bought it again and again and again and again. So ridiculous. Of course, what's really interesting about this is this little conundrum. And I want everyone to tell me how this works. So, for those of you not from Delaware County, it's probably, you guys don't realize. So, where this is over, this is on the far east side of Muncie, obviously. Muncie's here. North is, of course, upwards, going upwards. It's pointing, see, here's pointing up north. So, out towards Liberty Township here is east. Over here in the green is west, south, north. Over here, this is State Road 32. This green line is the Muncie bypass. Look at this square over here, okay? This square here. Well, let's look at something else in that area I want to show you guys. Let me show you something here that will interest y'all. Okay. You see this map here? This map right here is the Muncie City Council map. So this yellow brown area is District 1. This baby turd green area up in here that's really funky is District 2. This green color that includes 81 here and here, and this, all of this up into here is District 3. District 4 is this purple little area out here, here. Oops, getting crazy. District 5, ladies and gentlemen, is this blue area. 92, 39, 35, 7. Okay. District 6 is this area here. Okay. All out in here. And then over here, District 6. This is District 6. Now, these smaller numbers are the precincts. So this is precinct over here, 74. Here's 58. Here's 4. 50, 36, here's 35, 7, here's 1, here's 11, 12, 46. Here's precinct 5. Let's look at this. It says Muncie Sportsplex right here. See that? Okay. It's made up. Damn. What is going on? Okay. We see where precinct 5 is. Precinct 5 is right here at Jackson Country Club Road, down to the woods, back over, down just west of Gray Street, down to 32 again, right here. Okay. Now, if we pull this out and we look once again, I want to show you, just so you don't get confused. Precinct 5 is in District 6. District 3 is way over here. District 5 is part of Muncie as a contiguous unit. So it's not like part of its own. It's there. It's not like it's way over here. It's part of it. Okay, it touches it. So it's in District 6. I want to show you guys something. Give me a moment here. You know what I forgot to do? My ribs are almost back to normal. I've got just a little bit of breath there at the very end of a deep breath that hurts, but we're almost done with all that nonsense. Okay, hold on. I've just about got it all filled in here. There we go. Bang. All right. I forgot to get that shared to all of the groups. Okay. I want to show you guys something here on this about this District 5. So there's this strange little posting. Okay. It shows the District 5 and it shows District 5 is circled. Shows it on this map. Here is precinct 5 in District 6. Here's District 3. All right. This post says, so can anybody make this make sense? I was asking about Precinct 5 before. It makes no sense that Precinct 5 even exists. But hang on, there's more. Precinct 5, which is in District 6, voted for the District 3 candidate in Muncie City Council. So, Precinct 5 voted down here for District 3, Nicholas Talby and Brandon Garrett. And it was one vote for Brandon Garrett. They had one vote in the entire precinct. But that's not the question. The issue is this one vote over here voted for the counselor in this green district. So the person here in this district, in this precinct, voted for the counselor in this district. Okay. Now, there's some back and forth comments here that are interesting, and I want to read this for you guys. One person says, Precinct 5 appears to have been added when the city expanded piecemeal past Country Club Road to annex the Sportsplex. You know, the one that Mayor Dan gave up on only a few years and sold to low reputation McMansion builders. There must be a dwelling there somewhere if someone is voting. If not, that's a real problem. Keep on to that if not. Why they've put it in District 3 is anyone's guess. They could not have done that for any reason. It should not have been there. But the districts aren't supposed to be discontiguous by state law. That could change if annexed land itself is not connected to the rest of the incorporated city, but that doesn't seem to have happened here, and it definitely did not happen here. I tried to get to the bottom of local precinct configuration a few years back, but got absolutely nowhere in county government, even figuring out who was responsible for doing it. There's no real reason for this nonsense besides maybe inertia. Nor is there any real reason for precincts and districts to not be respectful of established neighborhood boundaries. But good luck finding answers out from our glorious county government, collection of elected ass clowns that it generally is. I posted, I'll drive out there here in a bit. The really strange thing is, a day after the election, there were 0 votes in Precinct 5. I know this because Sarah Beach and I went through nearly every precinct in Muncie. I'm sure there were 1 or 2 that we missed, but we talked about Precinct 5 in depth. Sarah, look at this shit. A week and a half after we talked about this, somehow they found a vote in Precinct 5, and it voted in Muncie's District 3, even though it's located in District 6. Very strange. Of course, my mother said if it's not one thing, it's 150 different others. I said the other strange thing is Precinct 5 shows 0 registered voters. So, by their own paperwork, 0 people are registered to vote in Precinct 5. So how can they have 1 person voting? They should have 0 voters. They have 0 people registered. They should have 0 voters. Now, someone could say, well, it's a provisional ballot. No, it's not. They walked in early and they voted early. See, this shows you E is for election day votes. A is for paper absentee ballots, and W is for walk-in absentee ballot. Okay? W here in this line is for machine walk-in early voting. And that's how this 1 person voted, which means they voted prior to election day. Which means that the day after the election day, it should have showed up. But when Sarah and I went through it, it did not show up. So I don't know how it got there a day later. Now, 1 vote is not going to make a difference. 1 vote, but it just goes to show you how crazy things are. Now, we're not done. Another person says, this is by my house. There's no one living in that vacant lot. It's just a lot of snakes and mice. I'm also pissed that the city pushed that district over like that when I'm just north and on the other side of the road. I should be in the district and allowed to vote. This person's mad they can't vote. Someone said, I don't know when the last... Okay, this is very important. Someone said, I don't know when the last redistricting happened because, let's not make researching anything easy. Is redistricting a cyclical thing, like every 10 years or something? It would make sense to do it with the census, maybe. I said the last redistricting of Muncie City Council districts should have been or was last year. Council President Robinson brought it up several times towards the end of 2021 and all throughout 2022. The City Council's standing subcommittee on redistricting, however, was chaired by local Republican Party stooge and FUD Brad Polk before he vacated that seat for the treasurer's office in the county. He was very disorganized with the entire process, although he is a very organized man, so that kind of makes you wonder. He seemed to be against doing anything with the city's districts. The reasoning was because his district, District 4, was quite possibly going to change if they would redistrict the districts. And he did not want that to happen because at the time he knew he was going to be vacating his seat for the treasurer's office. And the plan was in place for Isaac Miller to step forward into his district council seat in District 4. They already knew this was in plan. And when that happened by a caucus, he knew that Miller would then be running for re-election in 2023. And he wanted him to be able to run in the same District 4 that Polk had known for all those years. So Polk never did anything that he should have done about this. And by the deadline, which there was a deadline to redistrict, by the time the council was on this deadline, the committee that was made up of Chairman Brad Polk and then council members Aaron Clark, Troy Ingram, Jeff Robinson, and Jerry Dishman, they were left with nothing. And I know most people would say, well, wait a minute. With Troy and Jeff and Dishman on there, why didn't they get something done? And the answer is simply Polk was the chair. Without him setting meetings or doing anything, they couldn't do anything. They were up a creek without a paddle. Polk was the chair of the committee, and he never called anything. Honestly, though, the districts remaining how they are benefited all of the various district councilmen, so nobody was too caught up. It could have only benefited the citizens. So, of course, at the last moment, before the deadline ended, they voted to keep the districts as they were, as they are now, for another 10-year cycle, which in my mind now means that for over 20 years, our districts are like they are now, and they're screwed up. If they walked in early vote and had to get a provisional ballot, it would be counted that way. No, I have since found out. I have not been able to say that is a walk-in machine vote. So, just very interesting, folks. It's just all of this smoke and mirrors, all of this nonsense happening, all of this crap happening. Very, very interesting that this stuff just continues to happen and happen and happen and happen. Just another day here in the land of make-believe. Tomorrow, there is a Board of Works meeting at 9 a.m. I am planning on attending that Board of Works meeting, and I am planning on asking them I'm going to ask them about a lot of these claims. I'm going to ask them about all of the money that we've spent, that they have approved on the crisis center. They have to answer for it. They can be like, well, we're just volunteers. Well, okay. Then if that's how you feel about it, your ass shouldn't be in that seat. If that's how you feel about it, I want to show you what I've got. I'll show you right here what I've got, what I'm going to be bringing them. Right here. Here you go. Here's what I'm taking before the Board of Works tomorrow. I'm going to be asking them what all of this is.
Now, this is strictly the crisis center claims, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what it is.
You forgot
I'm
the
not
$10,000
doing
in edit he put down as earnest money.
What?
You forgot the $10,000 he put down as from edit money for earnest.
I did. You are right. I thought that I included it here. But
No, the number's not right. It's 10,000 too small.
What? Yeah, you're right.
Because it's just so close to kissing 300,000.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and we got this next. I added this one in because this one happened just last week. I will put this in here.
When was that? That was in like October or November, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know exactly
the date, but it's edit money. They didn't approve that one, but I don't think.
They would have had to.
Oh, would they?
They would have had to. Yeah, that's a good point.
Either they or, well, DAC might have approved it. It's earnest money. So.
Nice. What was it? 10,000? Ding. That's right. I remember you telling me that the other day, and I went back to try to find what it was, but I couldn't get that. But you are right. That's really pretty. So that's what I'm going to be taking tomorrow. I've decided I'm not going to live stream the meeting. I don't know. I what we'll do is we'll just play it. They'll record it, and then we will broadcast it here live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So if you're interested in watching that, I'm going to be taking them on. It's going to be Bilbrey versus Baker, Gregory, and Maurer, and the whole city of Muncie tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., but you'll see it 12 hours later at 9 p.m. It'll be Bilbrey versus the BOW. That's probably what I'll have to call it tomorrow. Bilbrey versus the BOW. You pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. I'll be there. You need to be here because it'll be fun, God willing. I see what you're saying there, Ryan. That's hilarious. That would be hilarious. Oh, hey, their audio is going to be good. It's going to be really good. I want to let you guys know. I want to show you guys here something. Stand by. Speaking of audio, we are no longer going to have issues here at the Political Spotlight when we are live on location. Never again will we have issues because a friend of mine also in the political broadcasting spectrum down in Florida, down in Fort Myers, he was having issues just like me. He would be fine in the studio, but then when he would be live, he would have a hard time having people hear. Whoopsie. This is what we've got. This is what we're going to be, this will be added to the arsenal here real soon. This is a dual microphone system that will be able to be either clipped on myself or clipped on another individual, clipped on both of us at the same time, or clipped on, like stuck up at the podium, clipped on a mic stand, a mic tree, if there's a press conference. And it's a pretty major undertaking, and it allows you to get great audio. It allows us to go live and to be able to get great information. You can see here the transmitter hooks onto the camera, and it will allow you to go pretty far distances. Here, let me show you. Show you here some of the distance.
Essential tool, because not only does it give me the flexibility to move away from my camera.
Look how far away this guy is, and it works. So it works. It's going to be great, and we're going to be able to do that here. So we are getting better. Things are getting better. We've had 2 days of good audio here, so that's good. So just keep that in mind. But we will be up tomorrow morning. We will be at the Board of Works live at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then we will be here at 9 p.m. Eastern to let you hear the play-by-play of that. And no more muffled sound. Hooray! It'll be great. So keep that in mind. We are going to shut her down. You guys have a great, isn't that nice? I wish we would be out here. That would be fantastic. And we will be able to catch them whispering to one another. That would be so great. I couldn't imagine if we had that time that Dan Ridenauer said, now if we could just shut that stupid Bilbrey up, that would be fantastic. All right, you guys, I hope you have a good evening. I hope you have a great Wednesday. I'm going to be duking it out tomorrow with some crazy people. So you'll want to tune in tomorrow evening because episode 89, Bilbrey versus the BOW, it's going to be amazing. Do not miss that. Thank you guys all very much for tuning in this evening. Remember, whatever's going on, it's just another day. Good night. Goodbye. Have a good night, Julie, Karen, Jack off Jack. I'm going to go eat me some chocolates. Alva, Joey, where's Audie been? Have I seen Audie in a minute? You out there?
I think he hates us now.
I think he's been working nights. Something, I don't know. All right, good night, people. God bless.